About how far was this man with the gun from you at the time that he shot Susan? About 30 feet away. All right, let's try that one more time. Promise it'll be the last time. Direct by plaintiff's attorney. Now, Miss Edmondson, this man that you say pointed a gun at you while you were in the driver's seat, was he standing on the driver's side of the vehicle? Yes, he was. Did he point the gun at any particular area? Yes, at my head. How far away from your head was the gun? It was about that close. May the record indicate she held her fingers up possibly maybe a quarter of an inch, Your Honor? Yes, the record will so reflect. What happened then after this man on the driver's side pointed the gun at your head in the manner that you indicated? He asked me where my handbag was 3 times, and the 3rd time he told me, he said, "You better tell me where your bag is or I'll blow your brains out." Now, at this time, was your friend Susan Alvarez still seated in the passenger side of the front seat? Yes, she was. This man who approached your vehicle, how tall was he? Just approximately. I don't know, 'cause he was bending down. This man who approached your vehicle in the parking area near your home, had you ever seen him before? No, I hadn't. Was he familiar in any respect to the man who had talked to you at Casey's Landing? Yes, but he didn't have a hat on when he came over to the car. They looked to you to be the same 2 people? Yes. Now are you a little bit upset at this time? Yes, I am. Would you like a glass of water? Please, do you want to take a recess? Do you want to stop for a while now? No. I want to get this over with. Shall I proceed, Your Honor? Okay. Now, after this person came to the driver's side, your side, and asked for your handbag 3 times, did you say anything? Yes, I told him 3 times that it was on the floor in the back. What happened then, ma'am, after the 3rd time? He opened the back door and got in the car and got my purse. Now, I would like you, Miss Edmondson, to look around the courtroom, if you would, please, ma'am, and tell me if you can say whether this man that was in your car in front of your home is present today in the courtroom? Yes, sir. Would you point him out, please? Right there. For the record, she has indicated the defendant. The record will so reflect. Do you know, or can you tell me, if the defendant removed your handbag from the car at that time? Yes. He did? Yes. Then you said that another person that is not present today in the courtroom is the one who ran and grabbed the handbag? Yes. Did you see what the defendant did with your handbag? Yes, he threw it on the ground out of the window. Where on the ground? In relationship to your vehicle. By the back door on the passenger side. Did you observe whether he had opened your handbag or not before he threw it down? No, I didn't. At that time, did Susan Alvarez get out of your vehicle? Yes, because the guy asked her to get out. That would be the defendant. And when I say the defendant, you understand that I am referring to the man you previously pointed to? Yes, I do. What happened then? He went to search her, and Susan went running across the street screaming for help. Now, you say that he went to search her. Who is that, ma'am? The defendant. The defendant seated here? Uh-huh. Now, what did he do when you say that he went to search her? What did the defendant do? He was frisking her like a policeman would. Did the defendant put his hands on Susan's neck like he wanted to choke her? Yes, he did. And then after the defendant started to put his hands on Susan's neck, is that when he started to run? Yes, she broke away from him and started running. And was she saying anything as she was running? Yes, she was hollering help. Did something happen while she was running? Yes. The one that grabbed my handbag off the ground went running across the street and hit Susan on the head and knocked her down. Now, you indicated he knocked Susan down. How did he do this? With his fist. And Susan fell to the ground? Yes. What happened then? Then he shot her once. As he was going away, he looked over at me and shot her the second time. About how far was this man with the gun from you at the time that he shot Susan? About 30 feet away. Okay, this is direct by plaintiff's attorney. 160, 4 voice for 5 minutes. Ready? Okay, now, when you took Flo to the courthouse. Did you drop her off? Did you stay with her? What happened? We dropped her off in the front, and we told her that we'd be back in a little bit so she could go inside and do whatever she was going to do there. Where did you two go, you and Chad? To the Mind's Eye. The Mind's Eye? Yeah. What is that? I guess it is like a head shop. And what do you mean by a head shop? I don't know how to describe it. You can just buy novelty items in there. You could buy pipes, things like that. Yes. Drug paraphernalia. Yeah, stuff that is not mainstream, stuff that you can't buy in a normal store. Okay. And did you go in that store with Chad? No. Had you smoked any speed now on this day, which is Monday? No, I had not yet. Okay. During the night before, when you were at the Motel 6, had you with Chad? Yes. Okay. Was it fair to say that you were up most of the night Saturday night? Yes, Sunday. I'm sorry. Sunday night to Monday. Yes. Okay. Now, after you had gone to the Mind's Eye with Chad, did you go into the store? I'm sorry. No. What did you do? There's a donut store next door. I went in there and got some donuts. Okay. At some point, Chad came out. Yes. You and Chad went where? Back to pick up Flo from the courthouse. Was she able to get her car? No. So what happened then? We took her. The three of us went back to the house in Norwalk. That is back to Halport, right? Yes. Okay. And did Flo tell you why she couldn't get her car out? No. No. I don't remember. Okay. And when you got back to Halport, what did you do? Well, Chad and Flo left to go run errands. I was hungry, so I asked him if he'd get me food. And we need cigarettes and lottery tickets, and I took a nap. We're in Halport, in the living room. In the living room. Your Honor, I have here what has previously been marked as People's 31. 31? 3-1. I'm hoping this is going to fit here. Okay, maybe I'll give you this pointer in case you need that. Looking at what's been marked as People's 31 for identification, do you recognize just the diagram in the middle? What that's a diagram of? Yes. And what is that a diagram of? The house in Norwalk. Okay, Halport. All right. And so, just to describe this, is it fair to say that the street Halport is at the bottom of this diagram? Yes. Where it says Halport Avenue? Yes. Okay. And then on the left side of the diagram, you see where it says carport. Do you see that? Yes. And that is where the driveway is? Yes. Okay. And then you can just point with the pointer to where the front door of the house is, where you normally walked in. Right there. Okay, Your Honor. Just for the record, she's indicating what is the door at the bottommost portion next to where it says room, living room. All right, and then where you see where the diagram shows living room? Yes. Is that the place where you took the nap? Yes. And were you on a couch on the floor? Where were you? On the floor. There was no furniture. And excuse me, I didn't hear that. There was no furniture. And when you laid down to take your nap, Chad had left with Flo. Is that right? Yes. Did they leave in your car? Yes. And was anyone else in the house at that point when you took your nap? Yes. Who? He was in there. Okay. Anyone else? Louie. Okay. But he was sleeping. Louie. So about what time was this when you got back and laid down, do you think? About 5. Okay. And do you know where Louie was sleeping in the house? Yeah. You want me to point? Yes, please. This bedroom. She's indicating the southeast bedroom, Your Honor. All right. And was there like a couch or a bed? Like a futon? Okay. And looking at the photograph where there is a B and an L, which is in the upper left-hand corner. Do you see this here? Yes. Do you see that blue item there? Yeah. The futon. Is that the futon he was sleeping on? Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. And where was he when you...
I'm sorry, that's supposed to be futon, right? And she says futon?
No. Let me turn this off.
Pronunciation all my years.
Well, you threw us off.
Sorry. Okay, next. This is a 150. And same attorneys, but we need 4 boards, not 2. It's all 2. Hold on. Okay, this is not good. This would be good for the 2 points test. All right, here's one. We'll do this. Okay, we're starting off with the court, and we are going into direct examination by plaintiff's attorney. Plaintiff's attorney is Mr. Ramseyer, R-A-M-S-E-Y-E-R. Defense attorney is Mr. Latner, L-A-T-I-N-E-R. The name Leora comes up, L-E-O-R-A.
L-E-O-R-A?
Uh-huh. And the nickname Speedy. Preliminary hearing. We keep talking about the kitchen. The name Ibarra, I-B-A-R-R-A. Pistol, small black pistol. Okay?
Ibarra was what? I-B?
Ibarra is I-B-A-R-R-A. Okay, ready? Starts with the court. This is a 150, 4 votes for 5 minutes. We are back on the record now, and all of the defendants are present with their respective counsel. Any matters before we bring the panel out? Mr. Ramseyer or defense counsel? No, I have nothing. No, all right. Leora, the record will reflect all of the jurors are present, and the witness is in the witness box. And Miss, I just want you to remember that you have been sworn, and therefore you are still under oath. All right, Mr. Ramsayer, you may continue. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, I think where we left off is when you were in the kitchen with Speedy and you heard the choking noises coming from the living room. And I think you said that lasted maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Is that correct? Yes, all right. And it got quiet in the living room, is that right? Yes. And then after that, what did Speedy do? He didn't do anything. Flo walked in from the other room and she took the belt off my hands and she burned the shoelaces off of me. Okay. Do you recall testifying at the preliminary hearing that first Speedy left the living room and left you in the kitchen alone for some period of time? Do you recall that? Right after that, right after it got quiet, that Speedy left you in the kitchen and told me to sit down on the chair? Right, yeah. So the first thing that happened after it got quiet, Speedy had you sit down, correct? Right. And then he went into the living room area? Yes, okay. And how long was he gone? Like not that long, a couple minutes maximum, not that long at all. Okay, and then who came back into the kitchen where you were? Flo and Ibarra did. Do you recall testifying that all three of them came back into the kitchen at the preliminary hearing? You don't remember? No, I don't. How do you remember it right now? Do you remember? I just remember she walking in and untying me. And then I remember Ibarra there, and I remember him because he asked me to go, told me to go in the back bedroom. Okay, so that's why I remember the two of them. What you remember is that while you were in the kitchen, Flo comes back in with him. Is that right? Right. Do either one of them have a weapon? Yes, he has that pistol. Okay. The small black pistol? Yes. And your hands are still tied behind your back? Yes. How do your hands get untied? Flo unties me. Okay. And then what happens? Then he tells me, he says, follow me. Okay. And did you do that? Yes. And were you scared? Yes. Where did he take you? He took me into, you want me to point? Yes, that bedroom, and indicating the southwest bedroom for the record, Your Honor. All right. And when you got into that back bedroom, that southwest bedroom, what happened then? He told me that I had 10 seconds to take off my clothes, and I said, are you going to kill me? And he said, not if you do what I want you to right now. Okay. So did you take off your clothes? Yeah. And after you took off your clothes, what happened then? He laid down on the bed and he pulled his penis out of his pants and he said, do you see this? And I said, yes. So what did you do? I said, all right, and I did it. And then, I'm sorry to stop you, was that I had to. Did you want to do that? No. And why were you doing that? Because he had the gun pointed at me. He was lying down and he had the gun pointing at me. Okay, and then after you did that with him, what happened then? He told me to get on top of him. And, okay, did you do that? Yes. And then what did he say? He told me to get on top of him. Did you do that? Yes. And how long did that last? Probably about 5 minutes or so. And then what happened? And then he said, okay, next. 140. 1:40, today is 6/6, and we're still in direct examination by plaintiff's attorney. Plaintiff's attorney is Mr. Ramsayer, Ramseyer. Defense attorney is Mr. Latner, Latiner. Paramedics, Halcourt, name of a street, Halcourt. Helicopter, hospital, bullet wound, surgery, bruises, blood, intercourse, sexual intercourse. You guys know the brief for that? Scourse. Okay? Here we go. This is a 1:40, four voice for 5 minutes. Starts with question by plaintiff's attorney. And did she then take you to a station where you got some help from the paramedics? Yes. Okay. Now, at the time that you were taken down, did you see either Flo or Speedy wearing the black knit gloves at that time? I can't remember right now. But you do recall Flo wearing a black knit glove or black knit gloves back at the Halcourt house, correct? Right. Your Honor, I have here an envelope with the contents of a sock and glove. And this was previously marked as People's 40 for identification. All right, I'm just going to take it out. And I want you to take a look through the plastic here. Do you see in there a black knit glove? Yes. And does that appear similar to the glove that you saw Flo wearing earlier in this incident? Yes. Now after this, you were picked up by this lady and you were taken to the hospital. Is that right? Yeah, first I was taken to a station and then flown in a helicopter to the hospital. What injuries did you suffer from this incident? I had a bullet wound from my neck, into my jaw, which broke my jaw. And then I just had let me ask you about the bullet wound for a minute. Do you recall ever being shot during the course of this incident? No. But when you were walked down that hill, you hadn't been shot, correct? Right. But after you woke up and you got help, you discovered that you had been shot? Right. Okay. And is that bullet still inside your jaw? Yes. Okay. And that broke your jaw? Yes. Did you have some treatment for that? Yeah, lots of surgery, and they wired my jaw shut. Okay. What other injuries did you suffer? My whole face was shaped different, disfigured at the time. I had one eye that was swollen shut, and then I just had bruises all over me. Did you have any injuries to your neck? Yeah, I had 3 rope lines on each side that were like cuts. Did you have any other bruising? Or I had bruises. I know I had bruises all behind my ears, my eyes, my nose, all up and down my back. It was pretty much just, did you have to get stitches for the injuries? Oh yes. My whole head was split open from here to here. It was split open. And did you have any soreness or injury in your vaginal area? Yeah, I had some. Were you just sore? How would you describe it? Yeah, I was really sore, actually. Okay. And between when you were found on March 3 and March 13, you didn't have sexual intercourse with anyone during that period. Did you? Right, I didn't. I want to back up just a minute. Your Honor, I have another diagram with 2 photographs I would like to mark. It's been previously marked as People's 46. All right. And I'm just showing you now, and I want to direct your attention to the photographs at the top of that. The first photograph, A. Do you recognize that? Yeah, that's the tunnel that I was in. Okay. And the blood that appears on there, is that blood that was left by you? Yes. And also, if you look closely there, I believe you can see two white shoes, one close to the front and one further away. Right. And do you recognize those? Those are my shoes, and there were no shoelaces in those shoes, right? Right. Where did those shoelaces go? One went around Chad's arms, and the other to tie the gag in his mouth. And also in there, I believe, a belt. What was that from? When she told me to wear it when we left the house, I took it off when I woke up in the tunnel. Okay, and then photograph B, I think, shows some blue jeans. Do you see that? Those are the pants I took off. And why did you take those off? Because they were too big and I couldn't walk in them. And were they wet? Yeah, they were really wet. Now, do you recall how long Speedy's hair was at the time of this incident? Shaved. Okay, one more. This is a 130, but it's all two boys. Let me go back to all that two boys and read that. Okay, this is a 130. I'm sorry, yeah, 130. Today is 6/6, and it's just question and answer. Saturn, S-A-T-U-R-N, the name Speedy, S-P-E-E-D-Y. What else? Louie, L-O-U-I-E. Flo, F-L-O. Pistol, rifle. Chad, C-H-A-D. Okay, ready? This is a 130, two boys. Let's switch it. Okay, here we go. 130, two boys. And this bag that you saw them carrying, can you describe, was it a big bag, a small bag? It was a large bag. Could you tell what was inside it? No, but it took the two